Ada, look, isn't that artistic?
Very nice, very nice.
French, I would think.
Oh, shall be gone.
Yes, I'll just look it up in the brochure. I was right. It's a Pissarro.
These foreigners will do it anywhere, won't they?
Ada, Camille Pissarro was a famous impressionist.
Do you mean a sort of French Mark Yarwood?
There's nothing like a Mike Yarwood. Impressionists are painters who paint without any attention to detail.
There's a couple of fellas work for the Co-op decorators just the same. They did my skirting boards in Jelly Peck's primer. It ran all over me shag pile carpet.
Just as I suspected, you're totally uncomprehending in matters of art, Ada. Not like my Leonard. Now, my Leonard's a devotee of art. I mean, he's got a wonderful Botticelli.
Fancy.
You know, he had it touched up last week.
Must have brought colour to his cheeks.
I keep telling him he ought to put it on show.
The council will never allow that.
There you go again. No breeding, no culture. I mean, it was just the same when I took you to that exhibition of clothing through the ages, showing me it like that.
What do you mean? When?
You know very well when. When that guide pointed out those corsets and said they were from William and Mary. You asked if they were as good as Marks and Sparks. Died with shame.
If I've ashamed you, I'm very, very sorry. Very sorry. I've not had your education. You had a private tutelage. Listen, I went to a state school. And remember this, I could only go in the morning. Being a twin, we only had one pair of knickers between us.
But you and your sister both were in the hockey team. What did you do then?
We prayed it wasn't windy.
Yes, well, accompanying me round this art gallery will give you a chance to catch up on your education. It'll do you nothing but good.
Don't do me feet any good. They're like 2 braised cheeseburgers.
For goodness sake, stop complaining. Now, come along, we've got a lot to get.
I'm very glad you brought me round, but... Oh, don't loot! Don't loot! In the name of heaven, don't loot! It'll bring your shingles back. You'll have a flush, stop it.
Oh, I say.
Well, I did try to warn you.
Oh, yes, of course you did, Chuck. Oh.
Very outstanding, isn't it?
Oh, it's positively dynamic. I wonder who sculpted it.
I don't know, but it certainly wasn't short of clay.
But it could be more.
Not more, surely.
Talking about Henry Moore, the sculptor. There's a plaque here. I wonder what it's called.
Don't go too far, he might spring at you.
It's called Waiting.
If it was left to me, would I've waited so long to wait?
You see? Now, this is the sort of place you ought to bring Bert. Do him good to see all these treasures from the past.
I couldn't bring Bert here.
Why not?
He'd start brooding. Cheeky.
Now, he's dropped off.
It's only a fig leaf.
Don't you dare try and put it back, Ada. Come on.
There's not many of them in a pound.
Hello, Nurse Johnson. Nice to see you again.
You do a wonderful job.
Good afternoon, Mr. Armitage. I better introduce ourselves. I'm Cissie, and this is my friend Ada. We visit the wards once a week in our modest capacity as hospital voluntary workers, you know, sort of ministering angels, as it were. It's our cheerful task to bring comfort to those who suffer. Yes. Hey, you've had a bad do, Chuck, haven't you? I bet that's giving you a lot of jip.
Oh, I say, I'll just touch up his pillars a little bit. Look at the state of them. Look at this. Look at that. Oh. Look at the quality of that stuff. They should have used bold. Oh, help me God, look, no wonder he's in pain. They've set his leg wrong. Don't worry, keep him occupied. Too hard. Don't try to thank me. And don't worry because they put your bed near the door. It doesn't mean that you've had it.
For goodness sake.
Wait, not this time.
You must excuse my French. She's somewhat of a caustic wit.
That's true, I still get wind with it.
Ada, I wonder what his chart says.
Oh, help me God, God love him.
What?
He's got a droopy hymer.
Droopy what?
A droopy hymer.
You fool, that's the name of the specialist, Dr. Oppenheimer. Say, look, I don't like the look of this. Look at his blood pressure, it's up and down like a yo-yo.
Oh, God help us. If it wasn't for his skin, it'd be a fountain.
And that's a bad sign, you know. The temperature's very high.
Oh, it wasn't as hot as that in Corfu. I think we better have a soda.
Now, you mustn't worry, Mr. Armitage. You know what they say, a trouble shared is a trouble halved. That's what my mother said before she died.
A nicer body never broke the day's bread than your mother. And she lingered for weeks, didn't she?
Oh, she did. She did indeed. I've always said, you know, I maintain that she'd have been here still if that Dr. Oppenheimer hadn't given her so many enemas.
I remember that. She was still clutching the bedpan when they buried her.
Mind you, I mean, I've nothing against this hospital, you know.
Oh, no.
I mean, I think it's very nice. I mean,
of course it is.
Very, very nice indeed. I mean, Leonard was in here last year, you know.
Was he?
Oh, yes, yes. Of course, he went private, you know, with his booper.
I thought he was limping a bit.
Oh, it was marvellous. They got him in right away,
Oh.
you know. Mind you, of course, he was completely covered.
Well, it'd have to be with a complaint like that.
I always swear by his booper, you know.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
I'm down for a share of it.
Grab it while you can, love. You just goes to sleep these days. Seen him just lay there now. Does remind me of my mother.
Oh, yes. I remember when your mother went. Oh, dear. When she shook off the mortal coil.
Well, they didn't have the pill in those days. To my dying day, I'll never forgive my father. He was an animal. Couldn't keep his paw. 9 days was at it. But to hear him through the partition. We were the biggest family in the street. We had so many wet nappies in the kitchen, there was a rainbow in the lobby. When we all bent down in the playpen on bath night, it looked like a crate of peaches. The midwife lived in.
Well, I mean, if you'll pardon me, Ada, that sort of behaviour's indicative of the lower classes. Now, I mean, you take my father, who was a prominent sidesman in the Chapel of the Pentecostals.
Oh.
I mean, he always practiced the rhythm method.
Well, so did my dad. He went to bed with a fiddle.
Big ignorant at
Thank you
times,
very much.
really
Very
are,
nice, I must say.
Anyway, we're forgetting Mr. Armitage.
Mr. Armitage.
Hello, Chuck. Is there anything we can do? Anything you really want?
Perhaps he'd like a grape.
Yes.
They are, Mr. Armitage. Oh, that's a banana, Chuck. No, there's a lot of fibre with this. It'll put a road through him.
No, I don't
They are, Mr. Armitage. No, it's good for him. It's fibre. Put it in.
What did he say, Ada?
I think he's wandering a bit. He keeps saying something about his shoes being mended.
His shoes mending? How do you make that out?
He keeps saying something about cobblers.
He's probably delirious with pain. I mean, mind you, this smell of disinfectant doesn't help, you know. It's probably upsetting him.
Well, they must have used a lot to hide the stench of decay coming from the bedclothes. I've got an air freshener here, perhaps if I just put a bit round the bed.
Oh, that'll cheer him up.
And I'll put a bit on Mr. Armitage.
He's having a convulsion, Ada. Give me that air freshener.
Well, I've done nothing wrong.
Just give it to me. Fool, this isn't air freshener, it's algae-pan spray.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Armitage.
You'll have to leave now, ladies. We have a case of acute embolism coming in.
Oh, well, don't worry. This'll make a change from Lucas Aid.
Honest.
Goodbye, Mr. Armitage.
Get out.
And don't worry about things. Here, Cissie. What sort of a place is this?
Well, it's a flea market, isn't it? Why?
I think I've caught one.
Honestly, Ada, must you scratch yourself in public?
Oh, what's the matter with you, fancy drawers? Don't you ever have a good scratch?
Well, of course I have a good scratch. But I mean, when I scratch somewhere private.
I used to have the same problem. I started wearing thermal knickers.
Now then, look. Now, this is the sort of thing you need. Look.
What is it? A toasting fork?
Oh, of course it's not a toasting. It's a Victorian back scratcher.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Ooh. Bring back Tyrone Power. Oh, Shell. I wouldn't mind one of these. They're coming handy when Bert's on nights. I haven't got to scratch me back when we're in bed.
Yes. You know, I must say, it is one of life's little luxuries, isn't it, to have one's back scratched in bed. I often get Leonard to scratch mine, you know. It sort of seems to bring out the animal in him, you know. He sort of becomes the lion to my she-lion.
I think they're marvellous the way they balance balls on the nose.
What do?
Sea lions.
I said a she-lion, Ada. Will you stop fiddling with yourself, for goodness sake? Just stop it. Now, just come over here, because I want to have a little browse and see if we can pick anything up.
Yes, I might buy something myself while we're here.
Oh, well, if you need any advice on period pieces, I'd be only too happy to oblige, because, you know, I'm quite an expert on Louis XV.
Yes, we had one of them in a caravan once in Rill. Nice little thing, chemical with a lid on wheels.
Honestly, Ada, you are pig ignorant.
An air wick in it.
I am trying to talk about the fine arts. For instance, I never miss the Antique Roadshow.
No, I like Crossroads as well.
I mean, that Arthur Negus, for instance, I think he's absolutely marvellous the way he's able to value things at a stroke, you know. I think he's wonderful. The only time I've ever seen him in difficulty was with his matched pair of pendants.
Yes, well, a man of his age should wear Y-fronts.
Ada, what is the matter now?
I brought my bar strap with this back stretch.
It's no good trying to do anything now. You'll just have to try and brace yourself. Now, what was it that you were particularly looking for?
A pair of bowler hats would come in handy.
That's very nice.
Oh, put it down, it's a jerry.
It's a Victorian chamber pot.
Very nice.
My friend Peggy Bumble has them in every room, you know. Oh, yes, yes. They're very fashionable, you know, now. People grow flowers in them.
Well, doesn't it scratch the... What's it when they sit down?
Right, now what are you looking for exactly?
Well, I'm thinking of getting something for Miriam's girl's wedding present. She's getting married at last, you know.
Oh, that Italian with the squints finally making an honest woman of her, is it?
Yes, that's the one.
Oh, just a minute. It isn't. I mean, they haven't got to. It's not a rush job or anything, is
Oh,
it?
no. No, she's got a fortnight to go before she's due to drop it.
Well, I mind you, I never did like the look of him. I mean, they're all the same, these They're all... It's not a bedpan at all. Now, they're all the same, these Italians. Do you know, I remember him from years ago. Now, where was it he worked?
Do you know, ever since she heard about getting married, she's been so excited she can't go to the lavatory. We can't put a road through. We've tried prune juice and anything. Can you recommend anything for constipation?
I've got Dynarod.
It's a bit drastic, isn't it?
No, that's where the Italian worked. I remember because he came round once to unblock our drains.
Yes.
I mean, Leonard had tried all morning, but, I mean, he couldn't manage it.
Well, neither can Bert these days, you know. But he puts it down to the shrapnel moving.
Well, I tell you what, I don't envy your Miriam's girl, I really don't, because you know what these Italians are like? They're very hot-blooded.
Oh, don't tell me. What about last year when Bert and I went on that Wallace Arnold sunk his holiday package tour to Lido di Jesolo in Italy? Every day an Italian paints me bum. Every day apart from the second Wednesday.
Well, I wonder why it didn't happen on the second Wednesday.
I couldn't find him. Choo-choo.
Well, you can say what you like, but it's a funny-looking baby to me.
It's a bit odd.
I mean, I've never seen one with a cleft chin and 2 warts under its nose.
You're looking at the wrong end.
I say, no wonder it struggled when I tried to put the dummy in.
It could have been worse. It could have been a rusk.
No, seriously. I cannot believe that your Miriam's abandoned it.
Oh, she has. Little Leslie. My Miriam, my firstborn.
And what does your Bert think of all this?
He's not sobered up yet, of course. He did mention something about putting shutters on the pram.
Well, I mean, what have you let yourself in for,
I
Chuck?
can't manage flesh and blood.
It's no good about it, is it? I mean, the damage is done now,
know,
isn't it?
I can do about
Well, look,
it.
you sit down, Chuck. I've got a bottle of my Leonard's homemade wine. I think we both need a drink after that.
I'll just have to keep him in a lot, that's all. Frighten the other kids.
I should have a mug full if I were you, Chuck.
Oh, thank you. A bit too early for me, really, you know. Oh, I say, that's nice. Goes right down to the edge of your corsets.
You've never finished it already.
Very nice.
Well, I'll give you a bit more, but sip this because it's very potent in its taste. You know, it's very deceptive. My Leonard knows all about winemaking because he's a devotee of Bacchus.
Well, so was Bert till he had his hernia. Oh, I say, that's nice. What sort of wine is this?
Well, would you believe when I tell you it's made from carrots?
Carrots?
Very good for the eyesight.
You can see better when you get drunk.
You know, whenever I drink wine, it always reminds me of the time during the war with that big Australian in the Ritz.
Help me God, fancy thinking about him.
Yeah.
Big Harold from Brisbane.
Same.
I was on about his billabong.
Well, I mean, he was a big lad, you know. Did you ever see his didgeridoo?
No, but then again, I didn't know him as well as you did.
Oh, he's a fine-looking fella,
Oh,
you
he
know.
was. I just wish sometimes you could turn the clock back to the war years, when we were single. All those dances, all those soldiers.
Yes, the Americans, the Free French, all those Czechs.
I always got paid cash myself.
Do you know, I've never told a living soul this, you know. But after the war, Harold wanted me to go back to Australia with him.
No.
Yeah. I could have had an assisted passage. There was only one snag, you see. He'd been captured at Burma, you see, and he was leading his men to Singapore when the Japanese surrounded them and his chindits were cut off.
What a tragedy. Mind you, having children isn't everything, is it?
I mean, although Leonard and I are supremely happy, I often wonder what life would have been like, you know, with Harold down under.
Well, that side of marriage soon wears off.
Here, down the hatch, Chuck.
Down with everything, polishing, dining. And down with you, Bert!
Oh, wait. How can you say that after 25 years?
Very easily, he's bone idle. He spends so much time in bed to save wear and tear on his pyjamas. I bought him a corduroy nightshirt. He's lazy. 25 years of my life. Better happening. Quarter of a century I've given to that man. And yet, you know, despite our ups and downs, talked about holding hands before. Everywhere we go today, to this very day, we still hold hands.
Well, that's nice.
If we ever let go, we'll kill one another. Whoa, sing Matilda. Whoa, sing Matilda.
Oh, Ada, look, all over your dress. I mean, it's a nice dress, this.
Do you like it?
Well, yes.
I got it from me, Littlewoods catalogue. 36 weeks at 35p. I call it my under strike dress.
Oh, why's that?
It's going back tomorrow.
After you've worn it?
I can't afford it. I had to give our Leslie £20 towards his honeymoon.
Oh, yeah. Where did you say they were going?
Well, they were planning to go to Fleetwood for a week. Judging by the state she's in, I think they'll finish up in the maternity hospital.
You don't mean she's...
Ooh, she's well on the way. Oh, yes, it's a one-way thing. How she had the nerve to walk down the aisle in white, I'll never know. It was a toss-up whether she left the church in the bridal car at the back of an ambulance.
Tell me something, Chuck. When you went to Blackpool for your honeymoon, were you... This is girl talk, really. Were you Virgo intact, Chuck?
No, it's just bed and breakfast.
No. No, Chuck. What I meant was, did Bert ever suggest premarital relations?
I met his Uncle Arthur. Little bald fella with a stick.
No, you misconstrue.
I always do with salmon paste.
No, Ada, look, what I'm trying to say is, did Bert ever...
Ooh! Mucky muck. How dare you? Bert was a perfect gentleman. He never laid a hand on me until we were married.
Oh, well, like my Leonard, of course, he never laid a hand on me, not until I got the ring on my finger.
Bert was the same.
Yes. My Leonard always said that he wanted to save himself for me.
Exactly Bert's words.
Yeah, so considerate.
Yes. The fools. Here, I've had a few too many of them. If I tell you something... Bert didn't know how to.
You're Bert?
I
find that hard to believe. I mean, everybody knows your Bert's a bit loose.
No, that was through the army. He was trapped in Benghazi with iron rations. I mean, everything went...
No. What I meant to say was, he was a veritable Casanova.
Well, he fancied himself with a lady, but I'll tell you something. Bit indiscreet now. On our honeymoon,
Yeah.
he didn't know what to do. Never. Yeah. See, my mother said to me, she said, remember this, on your first night with a man, you're on the altar of sacrifice. She said, just lie back on the bed and think of England. I had time to think of Scotland, Ireland.
You poor thing. Well, whatever did you do?
Imagine the way I was. Here I am, a young bride, rosy, faced with the prospect of being married to a man who could be, well, important. I mean, what a predicament this is. I didn't know what to do. There was nobody to turn to. So I thought the best thing to do is to take him to see natural things. You know, the way things are.
I don't follow your drift.
Yes, it was snowing that night. I took him into the Tower Zoo. And we walked past the monkeys.
Oh, you led him by the baboons?
No, we just held hands. That was all, yeah.
And so did he learn anything from watching the monkeys?
Well, that night we were in Yates's wine lodge.
Oh.
With a little glass of Subo Crap Rosy with ice.
Tumbler of common
Tumbler
dairy.
of common dairy. Right. A meat pie, some black tripe and black peas. And I thought, well, it's time to go to bed now before we have the orchestral symphony from below. we got in the bedroom and I started to undress. And my mother had always said to me, whatever you do, when you're with a man, never take a... you know, and never be there. Leave something on as an air of mystery.
So did you?
I left my hat on. He came out of the bathroom in a cloud of 4 7-Eleven talc. His eyes were pits of lust.
Oh.
He reached out for me.
Yeah.
He pulled back the quilt off the bed.
Go on, sure.
He leapt in the air. He swung on the light fitch and threw bananas at me.
So, who is it you wanted to contact on the other side, Chuck?
Want to talk to me, Mother? I could always talk to my mother in times of trouble. We're more friends than... Now without Leslie in prison and Bert the way he is, threatened with a lawsuit, I just feel the reassurance of... I want to talk to her. And when this witch friend of yours arrived, this Mrs. Scattercushion... Here, you said she'd be here for 8 o'clock.
Yes, well, it's only just turned, and she is not a witch. Mrs. Scattergood is a trained parapsychologist.
Sort of flying doctor.
It's nothing like a flying doctor, Ada. She deals with the occult. She's a medium, and a very talented one. Mediums like Mrs. Scattergood are very few and far between.
Sort of medium rare. I'm sorry, Cissie, but I'm so nervous. I've never done this before.
Yes, well, I mean, that is understandable, of course, because, after all, this will be the first time you've tried to contact the dead, won't it?
It's about the same as trying to get Bert out of bed in the morning for work. Cissie, this Mrs. Scattergood, when she communicates with those who... Do you hear the voice of the dead?
No, that's a popular misconception. No. The communication from the astral body comes through the medium, through Mrs. Scattergood. Yeah. Usually it starts through a Ouija.
Fancy.
Then, of course, she goes into a trance.
I'm not surprised if it's coming through a week.
I mean, sometimes she tries to call up the spirits, you see, from the other world. She'll look at your aura, and then she'll say... Is there anybody there? And there's usually an eerie silence then.
It's like when I try to phone the gas board, I get the same thing. Cissie, I know I'm being a bit... This Mrs. Scattergood, does she do anything else apart speak to her?
She's very good with the tarots.
What's so marvellous about that, man? I always use the fresh ones. I won't have tin ones in my stew. Never will I have tin ones.
Tarots, you fool, not carrots. Actually, I have heard it said that she dabbles in levitation.
Oh, we always have a plumber to ours when it's blocked.
I don't wish to appear inquisitive because I know it's a sensitive area, but your mother died in very mysterious circumstances, didn't she? She was asphyxiated, wasn't she?
Oh, no, she was regular right to the end.
No, Ada, what I mean is that she choked to death.
And I blame myself for it.
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't your fault, Chuck.
It was. You see, my mother made the nicest Bakewell tarts in the county.
Yeah.
Paper thin with pastry.
Little angel whispers.
Little angel whispers.
Yeah.
She was consummate at doing pastry. Well, Bert and I were invited for tea. And it was a lovely tea. She'd done Racusen's egg vermicelli and noodles. We got some slivers of polony and a tin of chunks. And there was one Bakewell tart left. Now, both Bert and I fancied it.
The Bakewell tart.
Well, nothing else. It hasn't been since the general strike. He puts it down to walking on the hunger march from Jarrow. I insisted my mother had the last Bakewell tart. And as soon as she bit into it, I knew something was amiss. Because she lurched to one side on the chair. I heard her dentures click. The bottom set dropped over her lip on that walk with the hairs up. And I went to the corner. Oh. And she went soot grey. And she'd gone.
And that's why you want to contact her, to apologise for having insisted she had that last slice?
No, I want the recipe to give it to Bert.
Come in, Ada, Chuck. It's all right, we're early, there's nobody here
Oh,
yet.
very nice. What exactly do you do, Cissie, at these disco mobility classes?
Oh, you'll love it, Ada, you'll absolutely love it. You see, up to now, we've stuck to the slower disco numbers.
Oh, yeah.
But this week, Miss Sandy said we might do a flash dance.
Thank God I got me best knickers on. All the others are in drift.
Yes, well, I said, while we're alone, I better show you the sort of thing that we do.
Oh, I want to join in straight away.
Yes, well, you can do, you see. What I'll do, I'll show you what we do,
Oh.
because I got Miss Sandy to record it on the pianoforte. Now, you just watch me. Hands up, baby, hands up. Give me your heart. Give me your heart. You get the idea? Oh, we'll do it from the top, Ada. Give me your heart.
Give me.
Hands up. Keep the leg going.
Give me hands up.
Give me hands up. Your heart.
Hands up. Baby, hands. Oh, I feel like Olivia Johnson Newt.
Yes. Let it all hang out.
Oh,
Ada.
it don't.
Happens.
It's this brassiere. It's supposed to separate. Bert calls this bra his Grand National Brassiere.
Why?
£5 each way.
Sort of demand, eh?
Oh.
Mind you see, I think you're prone to water retention.
No, we've still got the back boiler.
No, Ada, what I mean is the amount of your fluid intake. I mean, let's face it, that kettle's never off the boil. You see, your water level is at an all-time high. Perhaps you're not getting shut of it.
Do you mean not going for a You've got a point, you know. I was at the Older Masters. And our Miriam said to me, she said, Mother, you never go to... I went to the doctor to get some tablets to make you...
Diuretics.
No, you swallow these.
The point is, did they work?
I was housebound for a fortnight. I couldn't leave the UNO. I did all my sewing in there.
Well, it's a diet you need. You see, now, I mean, your trouble is you're digging your grave with your teeth. You see, Leonard and I, we are following the F plan rigidly.
I thought you were up to something. Your bedroom curtains was drawn. Don't knock if you get in it, grab it.
I mean, the F plan is a high-fibre diet. It's full of pulses.
No him, your Leonard's got colour in his cheeks.
Well, I must say, he is full of beans.
That's the one thing I can never let Bert have, his beans. He was on beans all last year. At the finish, the woman next door said, you better have the floorboards up.
Oh. Well, I think that's quite enough of that. Look, let's get warmed up and then we'll be ready when the others arrive.
No, you go ahead, Cissie. I've got a bit of a flush.
Ada, you're just making excuses.
I'm going to go over it. I can feel I'm going to go over it.
No. If you want a figure like mine, you've got to suffer, you know.
I'm not really that bad, you know. I brought 3 kids who will have no stretch marks.
Ada, you are just playing for time. Now, there is the apparatus. Now, come on.
Oh, I'm not getting on that, no.
Of course you are. All the girls get their legs over. Come on.
It's no wonder you've got a full membership.
Now, then, come on. Over you get.
Help me, Cissie.
It's all right. I'm helping.
Help me, Cissie, help me.
I'm helping you.
God's sake.
Oh, no, you...
Oh, Cissie.
It's all right. You'll feel happier when you're
Get me in the
mounted.
middle of them.
Now,
Don't leave me, Cissie.
No, it's all right.
Please, Cissie, don't leave me.
Now, pedal. Oh. That's it.
Oh.
Of course. Miss Sandy's husband put all this in. He runs the classes on a Friday night.
Oh,
know.
yes.
Oh, I mean, you just want to see his aerobics.
I'll have to bring our Bert here then.
Carry on. Faster. That's it. You see, we normally do this in pairs to the galloping major.
He must be fit. Oh, Cissie, get me.
What's the matter?
Get me, Cissie.
Do you want to come off?
No, I want the galloping major.
No. For the last time, Ada, will you come away from that window and straighten those tules?
Look at that. Next door's whippet. It's chewing all the roots of my begonias. Get off! Oh, it's doing that now. Tell you what, Cissie.
What's that?
I don't like the look of those new people at number 4. Look foreign to me.
Yes, well, as a matter of fact, they are foreign. But he's a gentleman for all that. He's from the Levant.
I never heard the toilet flush. He looks like an Arab mugger.
Honestly, Ada, must you be so narrow-minded? I mean, we're living in an age of equality. You've got to bend with the wind.
I can't bend in these corsets. The stays keep piercing me gusset.
Well, my Leonard met him at the town hall yesterday and said he was a man of extreme quality, very well educated and terribly erudite.
Well, they all are. That's why there's so many of them. It's the heat. Oh, I say, Cissie. Come here.
What is it now?
Furniture van's just pulled up. Tailboard's going down. Oh, they got some lovely things. Oh, I say, look at that. Elephant's foot ashtray. I've seen one of them for years. Giddings and Bakers have one of them. Oh, look at that 3-piece suite. Uncut maquette.
Yes, it's nice.
What's those bits of cloth dangling from the settee?
Bits of cloth, indeed. They're antimacassars.
Have they got relatives staying with them?
Antimacassars are decorative pieces of material. They're sort of doilies, to keep the settee clean.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, I say. Now, that's a nice-looking poof.
Which one is that? Is it the big fella carrying the chair in?
See, you've got a one-track mind, you have. You're just like your Bert. He's got sex on the brain.
I know he has. I just wish he'd lower it now and again. I'll tell you something now. He's never performed since he was taken prisoner in a waddy in Mersey-Matru. He didn't help on VE night when that rocket went up his leg. Oh, I say. Oh, come here.
What?
Oh, I say. Who's that young fella going in now? Oh, he's handsome. Oh.
Yeah, so that's their eldest son, Hassan. He's tall, isn't he?
Very nice.
Yes, and proud.
Very proud. Holds himself well.
Yes. Reminds you a bit of a Bedouin.
Yes. You could win in bed with me any time.
That's dreadful. Mind you, I can't argue there, Chuck.
Bless him. Do you know the way he just drifted in there? That Rudolph Valentino.
Oh, yeah. Galloping across the desert with his riffs.
Well, they get there through all the rice they eat, you know. Builds up the wind inside.
My Leonard says they're very religious, you know.
Who are?
Are they? Yes, they follow the teachings of Islam.
Oh, help me God.
Yes, they all want to go to Mecca.
Well, we all like a game of bingo, don't we?
Bingo, indeed. What have you looking at now?
Look at this, come here.
What?
What's that they're taking in now?
Oh, yeah. Oh, now, that is superb. It's a gilt harp.
Oh.
One of them must be a harpist.
Seems to be walking all right. I'll tell you something, get well on with my Bert, he's never sober.
Yes. Well, your Bert's a disgrace to the neighbourhood.
I know he is, I know it.
I mean, I'd like to know what's driving him to drink.
Nothing's driving him, he's a volunteer.
You should have got rid of him years ago. I mean, what does he do? He hasn't worked since the end of the war?
No.
Just sits at home watching television with a bottle in his hand.
We'll have to take it out of his mouth sometimes.
You mark my words. You'll finish up in the arms of penury.
We won't. He always drinks in the dog and duck. And you know why? When he loses his teeth, let him suck the beer mats.
When I think of the fellas that you could have had. I mean, you take Fred Pickles, I mean.
Oh, Fred Pickles.
Oh.
Little stiff fellow with moustache.
That's it. Fancied you?
Had alopecia very bad in his early years. Oh, I like Fred. Took me out once or twice, you know.
Really?
Tried his.
Oh.
I did. Come here. But, you know, he was a football fanatic, you know.
Was he?
Oh, he loved football.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, we watched all the teams, United, City and all those. And in those days, I must have trouble with this Spirella. In those days, I was going in for advanced cooking.
Oh, yes. Cordon bleu?
No, just potatoes and meat. And I took him home one night when my mother and dad were out, and I cooked him a meal. I called it Football Supporter Chicken Kiev.
Did he like it?
I never knew, actually. He just said he'd never watch Arsenal again. No more, Brad. No more, Marlon. No more. Oh, it's... Oh, I must have... Oh, you frightened me to death there, come. I must have dropped off. Sit down, take the weight off your feet.
Thank you, Joe.
I'll mash a pot of Earl Grey in a minute.
Oh, no, don't bother. I've just been from Brenda Bickerstaff. She knows. She just gave me a plate of profiteroles and a demi-tasse.
Very nice.
Oh, say, I didn't know you took an artiste tabloid.
Well, it keeps me flushes under control, you know. They're very nice, you know, once you get them up.
I was referring to the Stage magazine.
Oh, that! Well, Bert found it when he was standing up the dole.
On the dole? I thought you told me you got a job in the zoo.
He had a job at the zoo. It lasted a fortnight. And they fired him. Because all his chimpanzees died. It wasn't Bert's fault. For the first time in our married life, I agree with Bert. He was only following out the written instructions.
What written instructions were they?
Don't feed the monkeys. Mine has been very good. They let me keep the skins.
I must say, I found it quite a fascinating paper, you know.
Oh, it is,
Stage. Look, there's an article here on circus.
I found that very interesting, you know, because my grandparents were in the circus.
I didn't know that.
Well, it's something I never talked about. Yes, my grandmother used to do a trampoline act.
Oh.
And she met my granddad and they got married on the rebound.
Any children?
Bouncing baby boy. That was my father. Yeah. Well, of course, when he was born, she gave up the business to look after him. But my grandfather carried on his own. He used to do a magic act, you know.
Oh, yes, prestidigitation.
He was always sitting on cold stones. It was his own fault. But he was the first one at the Finsbury Park Empire to do that amazing feat of catching a live bullet in the teeth. Oh. And he did it. It burnt all his mouth.
Oh, poor soul. Did he suffer?
Oh, he was dead before he hit the ground.
Yes. Yes, well, of course, I mean, Leonard, he's got theatrical connections, you know.
Yes, he's a big fine fella, isn't he?
Yes. His mother was on the high wire.
Well, I know it's like to be on the tightrope, especially on rent day. Actually, though, I think if I take after anybody in the family, my mother. My mother. Because my mother used to go around the pubs, you know, doing all the old music hall songs.
Oh.
Yeah. She used to sing that Burlington Birchie from Bow, dressed like Tilly.
Oh, Vesta?
Yeah, with knickers and bra.
Ada. Mind you, I'm surprised with that sort of a background, you know, that you haven't performed on the boards.
Well, we did once, but Bert got splinters in his knees.
Yes, well, of course, I mean, I've done it a few times.
You've got a carpet down, haven't you?
I was referring to my experience on the stage.
Oh.
Of course, I mean, I don't tell everyone, of course, but I've been a thespian for some time.
There, for the grace of God, go all of us. I'll never condemn you for that.
I mean, only in an amateur capacity, of course.
You never charged anybody.
Ada, I was referring to my expertise on the stage.
Oh.
I'm a leading light with the Stalybridge Strolling Players.
Oh.
And of course, this year we're doing Chekhov's Three Sisters.
I like pantomime.
Yeah.
Mother Goose, all those. I've always thought what it must be like if things were different and had gone to show business.
Oh, yes.
What it'd been like to do pantomime.
Yes, I must say that's an aspect of the theatre that I've always dreamed about doing. Mind you, I suppose that's all it'll ever be, you know, just a dream. You know, Elsie says she'd never go anywhere else. Oh, it's lovely.
Hello.
Ada, what are you doing? She's damn ridiculous. Like climbing an Alp.
You're getting me into the touch. Well, you really are. Tell you what, love. They've done this place up lovely, haven't they?
Very nice. Surprising what you can do with chipboards, some lights and laser beams. It's hard to believe this used to be a slaughterhouse.
Can I get you a drink?
Oh, good evening. Yes, yes, we'll have a couple of halves of lager and a packet of dry roasted.
I'm sorry, ladies, I only do cocktails.
Oh. How about you, Ada? I bet you would like a Harvey Wallbanger.
I think I'll have a drink first.
It looks very nice. What does it taste like?
It's quite dry, actually.
I'm not surprised it's got a little umbrella stuck in the glass.
How much are they, love?
£3.60.
Ooh, certainly good.
£3.60. Yes, well, give us a couple of those.
Certainly, madam. Shaken?
£3.60 you go. You're bloody right, I'm shaking.
What is the matter with you? You've been nothing but a flaming misery ever since we got in here. We're supposed to be out enjoying ourselves.
Sorry, love. I just didn't want to burden with my problems. But I know I can talk to you, I always could. But I'm having a bit of a domestic upheaval at home. My Bert.
Your Bert? Are you sure of your pants?
Oh, yes. Little things. You know, Ada, a woman knows the signs. He started having a wash. The other night I found his thermal long johns in the Venusi.
Have you any idea who it could be?
You know her?
Yeah.
It's the one from number 42.
Number 42. And house with the dirty tools and the vacant possession sign in the way. Oh, it's as common as mugger. Oh, nothing but a strumpet.
Well, I could tell you some stories about that woman, but I'm not one for going behind people's backs. I'll tell you this, during the war she had more soldiers than Eisenhower. I've given him my all. Given him my all.
Yes, well, you want to try and cheer up, love. I mean, a night out with the girls is probably just what you need. Oh, thank you. Oh, well, bottoms up.
Well, what do you think, ladies? Nice and fruity, eh?
Well, not yet, but the night's still very well.
Oh, I said there's Madge on the dance floor.
Well, oh, yes. I didn't know she could break dance.
No, she can't. She's had a hip replacement done. Cheap. Oh, there's Veronica.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, what's she wearing? Just like one of them boob tubes. It's a bit unusual, isn't it?
it is when you've got a string vest underneath.
What's happening now?
And now, ladies, direct from Finland, please give a big welcome to Olaf, the mighty Viking.
What the hell's going on?
The announcement. It's Olaf, the mighty Viking. The male stripper.
I hope he's better than that fella we had from the Corp who did our hallway. I'm still picking lumps of Anna Glitter off the architrave.
Nothing. Olaf, the mighty Viking, is a stripper. He's going to take his clothes off.
What, are you going to take everything off? What are you going to do? Oh, it's disgusting.
Oh, I don't know. It's quite artistic, really.
Well, I'm not looking.
Oh, he's taken off his horned helmet.
Oh, no.
Yes, he's put his axe on the bandstand. Oh, there goes the leather apron. Mind you, he's obviously a gentleman. He's kept his socks on.
What's left?
Not for me to say, Ada.
Oh, God, he's got nothing on but that mask.
Hang on. He's going to take the mask off.
Oh, I'm not looking. Definitely not looking now.
Oh, flaming heck. No. Oh, Ada, I think you should look.
No, and that's final.
It's your choice, of course, but I mean, I thought you might want to know where Bert had been every night this week.
Hey,